Okay, now let's talk about my people. This is the final 20% of the human population, people who test what we call yellow, motivated by fun. Yellow people, these are the people that just seem to love life. They are spirited people, they're exciting people, and they just seem to wake up happy. These are the people that are very positive, and they carry within themselves what Dr. Hartman calls a heart of gold. Motivated by fun. Now, we define the motive of fun like this. It is living in the present moment, fully engaged in it, for the purpose of enjoyment. So when you think about fun, think about people who live in the present moment, engaged in that moment. Fun is different things to different people. So be careful that we don't take these yellow people and just stick them in a yellow box and think that all yellows are the same. That is absolutely not true. Every person is different. Every person is a unique, individual human created in the image of God. Now, yellows have two gifts that are closely related. The first gift is the gift of enthusiasm. I heard a teacher one day say the word enthusiasm actually came from a couple of words meaning God within, which I think is a pretty cool thing for yellows. Yellows do seem to have this life-creating force down on the inside of them. They're fun people. They're fun to be around. People are often attracted to them. But they exude enthusiasm usually if that yellow is involved in something that they're genuinely enthusiastic about. Yellows are often the most optimistic people among us. Yellows see the silver lining in every cloud. They can look at the toughest, roughest situation and maintain a generally positive, upbeat attitude. And they will be the people that will say, now wait a minute, guys, don't be so down. I can see that this could work out and be really, really good, okay? So let's back up and move ahead here because I think something good is going to come out of this. The yellow needs and wants are quite interesting. Yellows breathe like all colors do. Emotionally, they get their air by needs and wants being met. So think about it this way. Can yellow people breathe around me? All right, let's look at how they breathe. Number one, yellows need to look good socially. Yellows like people, all kinds of people, and they like to be liked back. It's just that simple. It's very important to yellows that social relationships are good, that everybody in the room is smiling, and that we feel like we're on a mission from God to help planet Earth be a little happier. Don't worry so much, be happy. Yellows need to be noticed. They need to be praised. They need to be adored. I'll never forget when my wife and I were using the color code to put our marriage back together. We didn't get divorced, but we sure got to the place to where we weren't getting along at all. And color code was a tool that we used to really keep our family intact. That's the reason I'm very, very passionate about it, and so is she. But I came home from work one night. I opened the front door. There's my wife. She pats me on the back and says, "Hey, babe, you hard worker. Gosh, I sure like you in that red shirt. You look great in red." Well, I got to tell you, it was almost like a religious experience for me. Because normally when I would come home to my blue wife, she would say, "Where have you been? You could at least call me. I've had dinner ready for an hour and a half." And here we would start in on the blue-yellow conflict. But not tonight. It's, "Hey, you hard worker, you look good in red." So yellows need to be noticed, praised, and adored. Yellows also, we want general approval, the approval of the masses, not the select few like the reds. Yellows, we will tend to hide our insecurities, but we use a little different technique. Yellows will often make it appear like we're revealing the depths of our heart. But the yellows know that we're really just revealing what is safe. We have to really, really, really trust you to reveal the depths of our heart. And Dr. Hartman taught one time that a yellow will reveal themselves truly to very few people during the course of a lifetime, sometimes to no one. Yellows want happiness, and we love our freedom. Freedom to come and go as we please, do what we want, when we want, with who we want, for however long we want. Just freedom is huge to a yellow. And finally, yellows love playful adventure. Now, the red personality plays the game of baseball or football. They play for one reason, to win. Yellows, we play the game too, but we play for fun. If we lose the game, it doesn't ruin our day if we had a good time doing it while we were doing it. Once again, the motive explaining the behavior of the personality. Now let's look at the strengths of the yellow personality. These people are the fun lovers. They kind of see life as a party. We're hosting. You all come now. They bring lots of positive energy to any kind of an organization that they're a part of. Now, how important, as a leader, how important do you think it is for you to have good, healthy, yellow personalities, and you as a leader know how to interact with those people in healthy ways? These people are critical to the morale, the culture, the climate of any kind of organization. They're often called charismatic, and they often are. Yellows have an attraction factor about them. I often tell my yellows, yellows, you must take responsibility for the life God has given you, because people are attracted to you. And you must choose a life path that takes people somewhere that is important, some place that is good and healthy, because people are probably following you. Yellows are also highly persuasive, highly articulate, great verbal skills, great social skills with this personality. The yellow is often carefree, flexible. They work well with all kinds of people in teams. They're highly engaging of other people. They're down at Walmart right now making friends with total strangers in the checkout line. This is a great, another part of their social skill. Yellows are happy people. They're inclusive people. They often take up the role of the underdog. They don't want anybody to be left out. They're spontaneous. They like to do things right now without, always having to have a plan for everything. They are quite insightful. This is a great strength that the yellow personality brings. The word insight is an interesting word. It was defined once by a psychologist. I think it was Carl Jung. He said, insight is the ability to see around the corner. Do you need people like this? We all do. Insight. They see into things. They can often, a yellow can often read people on numerous and deep levels. They see right past the behavior, and they see right to the core of the heart. And of course, in ministry, you guys can see how important this aspect of the yellow personality is. Yellows have a most forgiving nature. This is, I think, one of their most beautiful divine traits. I was actually training along one day, and I just passed over this strength. And I had a fellow in the room that stopped me. And he said, Van, I'm sorry, I have to stop you because I'm a blue. And he said, to be able to be a forgiving person. He said, I admire that so much. And he said, I don't have that. Forgiveness comes difficult for me. And he said, I think being forgiving is a divine trait. And he said, I think you yellows should be happy that you have that trait. It's very important. Now, on the downside, yellows, like all the other personalities, we have our limitations. This is the part about color code I don't like to talk about, so we'll just conclude this video right now. Thank you for coming, and have a nice day. And of course, all the blues are saying, you can't do that. All right, let's look at the yellow limitations. Yellows struggle with commitment. Oh boy, do we ever. But why? That's right. What if I commit to something and it's not fun anymore? Then what do? I'm stuck. Being uncommitted means not sticking to decisions that you make. And so I often tell my yellows, if you want to make a difference with the life that God has given you, you must face this limitation. Yellows who do not face the limitation of being uncommitted usually have very little impact on the world in which they live. On the contrary, because yellows are so energetic and so charismatic and so persuasive and so engaging that when you find a charactered yellow, that's a yellow who faces their limitations and overcomes them, and who develops the strengths of all the other colors. That's how we define character. This yellow, it would be almost impossible for this person to not make a difference in our world and in their world. Yellows can be self-centered. We think the world revolves around us. We can be quite disorganized. Where's my cell phone? Where's my wallet? Where's my car keys? Where's my jacket? But why? Why do yellows lose things? Why do we forget things? The motive. Because we are motivated by fun. We are living in the moment. We can get easily distracted, and we forget where we put the car keys. We forget to close that door, the cabinet door in the kitchen. We leave the car door unlocked. Yellows can be impulsive. Now, you said it was great to be spontaneous, right? Well, yeah, that's good. But if you take that too far and become impulsive, you'll find yourself doing things without considering the consequences. And this creates all kinds of problems. Yellows can be quite undisciplined. When the going gets tough, the yellow just changes majors, changes jobs, changes partners, mates, Yellows must learn to develop discipline and skills when the going gets tough. Yellows can be quite vain, too. Does my hair look all right? Hope I'm not too fat. Hope I look good on this video. And yellows can often be afraid to face the facts. Balance the checkbook. How much money is in there? We don't want to face any facts that aren't fun and pleasant. And this can often hold us back. When a yellow is up, you can't beat him. But what most people don't understand is yellows have down times too. They have to have times to recharge their batteries, because a yellow feels like they're giving out energy, and they are, all day long. So the yellow is Mr. or Mrs. Social during the day, and they often come home with their battery depleted, and they're not so much fun to be around at home at the end of the day. Yellows can be unfocused. Squirrel, They can also be obnoxious. They interrupt people. They don't even know it. This is a blind spot. This is kind of like being silently stubborn to the white personality, or arrogant to the red. If you say to a yellow, hey, you keep interrupting, you're obnoxious, the yellow will say, I can't believe people don't find me as delightful as I find myself. Now, what kind of jobs would appeal to yellow people? Well, after 35 years of research, we have determined there are none. And of course, all the yellows are going to understand that. But we're just kidding. There are lots of occupations and professions that appeal to the yellows, and some of those are anything like marketing or sales, entertainment, being an actor, beautician, firefighter, youth counselor, minister. I've worked with many ministers who are yellow, and it serves them quite well in taking care of people. So any kind of an occupation that requires interpersonal skills, yellows will do very well at. So how would we get along and create good relationships with the yellow people? First of all, take a positive, upbeat approach. Number 2, plenty of praise and appreciation. Number 3, encourage them to enjoy their work. And number 4, encourage their social skills because they are good at it. Now, on the do not list for a yellow, you would not want to ignore a yellow. You would not want to expect that the yellow is going to dwell on problems all day. You wouldn't want to control a yellow's schedule and totally control all their time. Unless, of course, you want that yellow to seek to escape, which they will. Yellows, sometimes we misunderstand this personality, and because they are often the life of the party and they're so much fun to be around, we think this person maybe is a social butterfly without much depth, and nothing could be further from the truth. These people are very smart, very sharp, have great insight, and it's very important that you never underestimate the sensitivity of a yellow. These people are highly sensitive to other people's agendas, and never underestimate their ability to positively impact the morale and the climate of the organization. Now, yellow personalities that you might recognize. Ronald Reagan, fantastic yellow president. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of yellow presidents. Bill Clinton, another example of a yellow president. George Bush, 43. Yellows often are good at politics or at all things social. And if you think about these presidents, John Kennedy, another yellow president. These presidents, whether you agreed with them politically or not, because of these people's natural personality gifts of enthusiasm and optimism, our nation did pretty well under their leadership. Economically, socially, they oversaw some pretty good years for our nation. How important is yellow to the world that we live in? I think it's vital. And as you can see, every personality is vital and important. We can't get along without each other. God did not make us different to confound us or confuse us. He made us different for this reason. We were always meant, from the beginning, to be a team. That is why we're called the body of Christ.